Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble the Samsung Notebook 7 Spin. The exact model number is NP740U5L. Alright, so there's also this model number here, 740U. So I don't know why there's so many models numbers here, but I guess I'll write those all down. Okay, first thing we're going to need, this looks like PH1 or JAS1 screwdriver, and then we're going to go ahead and remove all the screws from the bottom. Actually, this is actually a PH0. Okay, so PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. Alright, let's go ahead and remove all the screws from the bottom. You want to keep them in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths. So the pattern you remove them, just put them back the same way. I like to put the flat side down like this on my desk and then just put it in the pattern I remove. So as you can see, there's 3 across here, 3 across here, and then 4 across the bottom. So I'll just lay them out in that pattern on my desk. Alright, and that's how I keep track of all the screws. Okay, I don't know why the screw seems like it's stuck in there. It might be the screw mount is broken, so I don't know if it will come out. Let's see. Yeah, that screw is kind of stuck. So we're gonna have to use some tricks to try and get that screw out. I'll show you in a bit what I have to do. Alright. Alright, if this video ends up helping you, please remember to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others so that they can also learn how to fix their own devices. I also have other random videos, so if they don't really care about computer repairs, you can share them, some other videos from my channel. Alright, so let's continue removing all these screws. Again, make sure you're using a PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. If you use the wrong size, you can strip out the top of the screw, and then you're going to have a very tough time removing them. Alright. Okay, we got all these screws out. Now let's see how we can pop out the last screw that's kind of stuck here. Sometimes it helps to kind of pull the cover up while removing the screw. It looks like I can get in between here, and I can actually separate this. So it might be that the screw is not even holding at all. Let's see. It's coming up. Let's try and get this. I'm going to use this and try and spin it as I pull it. Kind of working, but not really. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the screw up with a tool because I can kind of get underneath while I am unscrewing it. Alright, let's see if that works. And there we go, it looks like it's coming out. Okay, so we got that screw out. I'm probably going to have to check and see why it's not holding in place. I might have to glue the screw mount down somehow. Alright, now that we got all those screws out, we're going to find a gap here. So it looks like the gap is right here along the bottom half. So if you open the screen, you'll see there's a gap here. Okay, if this is like every other model, should be able to get my fingernails in here and then push with my thumb on the front. If it doesn't come out, we're going to have to try another way. So as you can see, it doesn't want to come out easily. So let's go ahead and see if we can find another way. Let's try with a suction cup towards the back. This side was popping up already, so that's kind of weird. I probably shouldn't start on that side because then if yours isn't broken like that, it's probably not going to come out so easily. So let's see if I can get my fingernail in this gap, and I don't know, it seems really tough and stuck here as well. So this side, I don't know, this cover seems to be stuck on really strong. Let's try and pop this up this way. Nope. Okay, I guess we'll try doing it the other way. So now we're gonna try prying from this side and pushing on the bottom. So I'm getting my fingernails in there, and I'm going to push on the bottom cover, and it doesn't seem to want to come out. So I'm not too sure. Are there hidden screws underneath this? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, they lost all the little rubber feet. So it looks like it's just gonna be difficult to pop apart. I'm trying to pop this apart and it doesn't want to come out. So let's try from the side now. Sometimes the sides are a bit easier, but this one, it's very tough to even get anything in here. So the gap here is very thin, and even getting my fingernails in here is kind of tough. So we're going to have to possibly pop it up with the metal pry tool. Let's see here. I'm going to try again from the other side. Let's actually flip this over. You do want to be careful because I'm pretty sure those screws on the bottom were helping hold it in place. There's another gap here, but I don't think this side is gonna be what pops it up. Let's try real quick. Let's try from the top part, and no, that doesn't seem to do anything either. Okay, let's try using the suction cup in the center. And I don't think that's getting it up either. Nope. Wow, this cover is going to be really tough to remove, it looks like. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and use this metal thin pry tool. Okay, and I'm just going to get it in the gap and see if I can pop it up at all. Doesn't seem to want to move. Wow, these clips are super strong. I don't want to like apply too much force and then break anything here. So we're just kind of prying slightly. It looks like, okay, so it looks like we have to pull down towards the base. So you can see it's unclipping now, but the moment I let go, it kind of just clips back into place. So I have to kind of make sure to keep it separated. Slide the tool over, and again, we're prying down towards the rubber feet. Okay, so I'm pulling the tool down towards the rubber feet. And there you go. You can see you don't want to push the tool in too far because then you can actually damage things. Okay, so we're just going around and popping this up. So continue going around there, and again pulling towards the bottom feet. So it looks like if you were doing this with your fingernails, it would work if you're kind of like pulling up and pushing from the bottom. But this cover is very strong, so it doesn't look like that will work. So we're just going to use this tool and going to continue going around. Okay, you want to be careful going around all these little connectors here. So, whoa, this part already looks like it's cracking a little bit. Let's go around. Okay, let's continue going over this way. Their hard drive is having issues, it seems, so I have a feeling it was maybe dropped or something. But we'll see. They said that the dad said there was some viruses or something on here, and then they tried running the Windows installer and it was having issues. So here you can see you got the SD card slot, and it's actually really difficult to pop this. This SD card slot had a little crack in it. So let's continue trying to pop these pieces up. Alright, you want to be very careful that you're only prying up the plastic and not the internal components. Okay. Alright. You can see it's kind of coming up. We're going to have to keep working our way all the way around. And it looks like you have to... This one, that's a USB-C port. So the USB-C port looks like it's kind of sticking out. So you want to be very careful. Again, that's just sticking out over the other edge, so it's actually not the plastic's not actually in the way, but it looks like it's not prying out over that way. So here we go, we're gonna go from this side. Wow, this plastic cover is so difficult to remove. So you guys are probably gonna need to get some special tool to do this. There we go, it's coming up slowly. Again, I have to be very careful because the USB-C port sticks out over the metal or over the plastic cover. So we got most of it out. Only this one little latch here between the USB-C port and the headphone jack is still caught. So we're going to continue working our way over this way. We might have to lift the cover from this side to be able to get it out. So let's get all of this. Back corner edge. Alright, you can see it's all coming out. Alright, we got to this edge. Man, that plastic, I don't know if, is that broken too? Man, they have so many like cracks in the case here. Then we're going to go in the back here where the hinge is, and same thing. Just kind of pull it down towards the bottom wherever it's kind of getting caught. There we go, and it looks like it's almost completely out. So everything is out except for that one little spot. So let's see if we can lift it over from this side. Kind of wiggle it, and pull it up, and there we go. So carefully flip this over. Here you can see the power button and the volume buttons are actually on this little, what do you call, like contact points. So it's not physically connected with a cable or anything. You can see all the clips on here. They look all good. Again, there were like a bunch of cracks in this cover, so yeah, it shouldn't affect it in any way. But let's clean off the dust. So to clean off the dust, I just use a toothbrush, and then I use an air blower to blow all the dust, the loose dust away. There's this RAM cover here being held in with a little metal latch. I'm not going to take everything out, but we're going to just take a quick look. So you got the keyboard connector here. You got the hard drive connector here. All right, this is most likely the trackpad or touchpad. You got a keyboard backlight connector here. Speaker connector for one speaker is here. These kinds of connectors, you just grab it and then you kind of wiggle as you pull them out. The battery connector is here. There's not much room to grab this either, but there's this little slight lip. These, if you can't, you would take the screws out and then you can grab the connector as close as you can, not from down here because you don't want to like bend the wires too much. So you would grab there and you kind of wiggle the connector as you pull it out. I got a bunch of videos showing these kinds of things, so if you wanted to see, watch my other ones. These kind of connectors all have these little latches. You flip them up and then the connector slides out. That's the same for like all of these. CPU and GPU are soldered to the motherboard. All right, we got all these random like plastic things here. I don't know if they actually do anything. I think they're just there for probably support. All right, it looks like the SD card slot is right here. DC jack looks removable, but you'd have to, again, remove all of these pieces. Actually, no, the DC jack is soldered to the motherboard, and they're hidden underneath this plastic covers. You got the wireless card here. It's soldered to this board, but this whole board is removable, so if your wireless card has issues, you'd basically have to remove the whole SD card slot, wireless card, and the power button, volume button, like connector board, and swap that out. The antennas, if you want to see how to remove those, it's in pretty much all my other videos where I disconnect those. And then you got the right speaker on the left side since it's upside down. Same thing, grab the wings, wiggle that, and pull it out. Fan looks easy to remove, just 3 screws. You do have to use the PH0 or JAS0 screwdriver. It looks like all of the screws in here use that same type of screwdriver. And yeah, so this we're going to be upgrading the hard drive to an SSD and then installing Windows. If you want to see how to install Windows, I have a video for that. Now I'm going to show the RAM, just because a lot of people like to see how to upgrade the RAM and the SSD. You want to be very careful here because the battery is connected. If you wanted to be extra safe, you could actually disconnect the battery connector and then open up the computer. You will have to put the bottom cover on to reconnect this and then press and hold the power button 10 to 15 seconds. That's kind of a lot of extra work. So as long as you're extra safe, make sure you don't drop the metal things on anything, you should be okay. All right, so we're gonna grab this metal tray, lift it out, and here you go. We got the RAM. Pull these 2 tabs to the side. If you want a close-up of how these things work, pretty much all my other videos I zoom in a little more, but this one I'm trying to do a little bit quicker. So we got a PC4-2133P RAM. So if you're gonna upgrade the RAM, make sure it's PC4-2133P. All right, a lot of times when you remove the RAM, it gets like a little contamination on it. So I actually do this to clean it up. Some people get mad at me from watching my videos and say I'm messing things up, but I've never had a computer have a RAM issue after I've done that. So yeah, and I've had a lot where they'd bring them in and they'd have RAM issues. I'd take the RAM out, clean it like that, and it'd be fine. So yeah, all right. So there we go. We'll take that out. And we'll put these screws back in. If your computer boots up to just a black screen, I recommend checking your RAM. Sometimes one of the sticks of RAM could go bad. It's very rare for both sticks of RAM to go bad. So you can try using one stick at a time. If it still doesn't work, you can try wiping off the connectors of the RAM just like how I showed. And you should be okay. All right, and if it's not a RAM issue, then or the RAM doesn't fix that, then it's most likely a bad motherboard. All right, so we got all those 4 screws back in. Now we're going to remove the hard drive. Same thing, 4 more screws. Again, you do want to keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths, and if you mix them up, you can cause damage to the computer. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove these 4 screws. This cable is loose, it's not held down to the battery with an adhesive, so you can take it out if you want. Alright, let me see if there's a battery model number on here. I'm trying to look for one while I'm taking out these screws, but I'm not. Oh, I see it, it's covered. So the battery model number, I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you'll check your battery just to be safe, because sometimes people have slightly different model numbers. But the battery model number here is AA-PBUN3QB. So that's Apple, Paul, Boy, Umbrella, Nancy, 3, Queen, Bob. Alright, that's the battery model number. Anyways, we're going to remove this connector. Actually, let me zoom in here to make this a little bit easier to see. So to remove these kinds of connectors, what I do is I get my fingernail in this gap here and I use that to help pry this that way, like that, because sometimes if you yank these little covers will get pulled off the connectors, and I don't want to do that. So there we go, just like that. Get my fingernail in and pry that out, just like that. There we go, we got the hard drive out. This is a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive. Okay, very common, very standard. Now we're going to remove the 4 screws from this bracket and then put in the SSD in its place, and then we're just going to close up the computer. And I'm going to clean out the dust as well, just because it is pretty dusty inside. So I am going to be doing that after I put the SSD in. I'll pause the video and I'll come back after I clean it up, and then I'll put the cover back together. Alright, so we're going to remove all 4 of these screws holding the hard drive into this bracket, or the hard drive caddy. I try and use the proper terms, so if you're missing parts or need them, you can kind of Google the model and then what the name of the part is. So here we go, we got the 2.5-inch SATA. So this is a spinning hard drive. Again, we're going to replace it with a SSD. So we got this 480 gig SSD. Alright, there's a Kingston SSD. If you want, I can send you a link for that. Amazon does give me like a tiny kickback for sending links to people, so if you need that, let me know. Alright, usually the SSDs I go with multiple different models depending on the cost. Kingston, SanDisk, Samsung, and Crucial are all really good quality, and I haven't had any issues with them. So those are the SSDs I've been using. Price wise, Kingston, SanDisk, and Crucial are usually the most competitive. So if you are looking for SSDs, those are usually what I find work best. In some rare instances, if the price difference is great enough, I've had people bring me Western Digital ones. I don't think I've bought any personally, but they work pretty well as well. Okay, so we got that. Let's go ahead and put the hard drive into the caddy, just like that, and then we're going to put the screws back in. Okay, just put those 4 screws back in. These screws actually are PH1 or JS1 screws, so you can switch to a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver just to get a better grip. If you use the PH0 or JS0 screwdriver, be very careful not to use the screwdriver too hard. If it skips out of the screw head, you can actually strip that out, and then you won't be able to tighten the screw anymore, and possibly you won't be able to remove it as well. Alright, there we go. So let's get all these 4 screws in. Okay, and then we're going to reconnect the connector. It goes upside down like that. Push that in. Be careful not to pull this cable. If you damage that, then you're going to need a replacement cable or your hard drive won't work. It looks like, man, even this is broken. So this computer, they have so many broken pieces. I'm going to put some super glue here to help hold that back into place. Let me clean off the tip of this. Okay. I don't know why they have so many broken pieces on this. They must have like dropped it or something. There we go. Get that lined up. Okay, drop that in place. You can hold it there, but I'm just gonna put the hard drive on top and that should hold it. All right, get that one lined up. I'm kind of holding it down as I put back the screws. Oops, make sure you switch back to the PH0 or JAS0 screwdriver if you switch to the PH1 for the hard drive screws. Okay. That screw in. Again, you want to be careful. I had one person complaining that I was using a metal tool to open the laptop, saying that it's like risky, I'm gonna short stuff out, or I'm teaching people wrong and they're gonna end up shorting things out. I mean, if you stick the tool all the way through, like I show how the computer's built, so hopefully you won't accidentally like end up pushing the tool too far into the computer, and you shouldn't have any issues. So all right, there we go. Get the last screw here. Again, I have to find out what's going on with the top right area. I don't know if I'll be able to glue that side if it broke like the other. Let's see here. Yeah, because it's down. It's down in here, so I wouldn't be able to get to that unless I completely take the whole computer apart. It doesn't really affect the functionality of the computer, so I'm going to leave that as is. I'm going to clean out the dust here now, and then I'll be back. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, so I'm back, cleaned it out. Let's clean out a bit. All right, here you go. Okay, so we got everything back in, and yes, the plastic mount around that area is broken, and that's why the screw was just spinning around. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to put that screw back. We'll try. It's not like it will really do much now, because if I put that, it's kind of just holding it to the back of this thin plastic piece. But anyways, let's go ahead and snap everything back together. So you want to start with this side. Actually, I think it doesn't matter because it's all just the clips. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So as long as you just have the cover flat, you can go ahead and start just pushing it down to clip everything back into place. Just like this. Okay, let's go ahead and clip everything back in. Alright, just like that. And this piece, it looks like it's broken, so yeah. This one, whatever they did, the screws and the clips and everything's like all broken on that side. But anyways, let's clip everything else in. Let's see if I can somehow get the screw to go in there. I don't know if I will, but let's see. Is it gonna hold? Okay, it's kind of holding. So sometimes what you can do is you can apply some pressure pulling up the screwdriver as you tighten it, and that will allow it to kind of tighten the screw. Let's see if that will work or not. It's kind of working. Yep, I can feel it tightening. There we go. So now I got that tightened into place. So now this plastic piece is just holding onto the hinge itself, not really onto the other side of the plastic. Alright, so let's get the rest of the screws in. Other than that, that's pretty much all there is to this. I'm going to show how to boot from the USB. Samsung laptops sometimes don't boot like normally, so we'll see. I don't know if I have to press like one of the F1, F2 keys or anything like that. Samsung sometimes does it kind of strange, so we'll see. Usually if it doesn't detect the hard drive, it'll probably just boot off the next available drive, which is going to be my Windows USB drive. But other than that, that's pretty much all there is to this laptop. So again, hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, please like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can also work on their own devices. Alright, you're welcome to stay as I put back the rest of the screws and attempt to boot from the Windows USB drive. But yeah, other than that, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, let's go ahead and finish putting these back and putting the USB in as well. Hopefully the battery has enough charge that I can just start it and not have to plug it in. Alright, all those screws are back in. Let's flip this thing over. Oops, almost lost my USB. Okay, let's open this back up. Put the USB in, of course. Press the power button. Okay, I might have to plug it in. Press the power button. Yep, let me go plug it in. Alright. Go. Plug this laptop in here. Alright, and let's power it up. I see the blue light on. Hopefully that means it's already powering on. I might have to just hold the power button. Oh, there we go. It says the Samsung. Okay, sometimes, usually on laptops it's like F2 or delete to go to the BIOS. Other computers you press like F12 to go to the boot menu. Again, Samsung is sometimes a little weird. So here we go. We got the BIOS thing. I'm not sure if it was from pressing F2 or delete or if it's just because it doesn't detect the boot option. So now what we're going to do, let's go into boot. Let's see, it doesn't have, let's go to boot device priority here. So here you see the boot priority option number 1. So it's already going to boot by itself to the right one. So I'm just going to exit, but normally you would save and then exit. So I'm just going to exit. So it's going to automatically boot from the USB, and there we go. We're going to choose the Windows 10 64-bit. All right, and let's boot it up. And there we go. Then you just go through the prompts like normal, installing Windows 10. It'll just guide you through it, asking you the language and whatever, things like that. Just go through all of that and you should be good to go. So hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, again, like, subscribe, share my channel with others. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye.